The Federal and Pedesta Hospital jointly present the Kanyakumari Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Rojavanam International School and Kingmakers IAS Academy. Run for Health on Sunday, May 4, 2025. Entry is free and all are welcome.
Pro-Khalistan leader Jagmeet Singh loses Canada polls and quits as the new Democratic Party leader. He was until recently a powerful kingmaker in Canadian politics and a controversial figure for India due to his pro-Khalistan stance. His exit actually raises important questions, not just for Canada but also for India's diplomacy. To talk more on this, I have the Federal's managing editor, Case Dakshina Murthy, with me. He follows international affairs closely. Sir, thank you for joining me. My first question to you is: what does Jagmeet Singh's defeat mean for pro-Khalistan voices in Canada?
It's a really a big setback. In fact, Jagmeet Singh, when he conceded defeat and he said he's going to step down, the entire announcement made in front of his supporters was really emotional, and he showed. I mean, he couldn't even control his tears at some point. So what it basically indicates is the terrible results that they have got. The new Democratic Party had 25 seats in the existing assembly, and now they have been reduced to 4. Of course, there are still a few more seats to be counted, but as we speak, it's 4. I mean, in fact, what happens because of this is that they even lose their official status in Parliament, and because you need a minimum of 12 seats. So it means a lot of things, because when you lose your official status, it also means a lot of your privileges get cut off. And Jagmeet Singh had emerged as one of the open supporters of Khalistan in recent years, and it had its own repercussions, and tempers had gone up between India and Canada. Quite it was unprecedented in many ways, because otherwise India and Canada have a very close relationship. So, and within Canada, the Khalistani movement, which was in the background, it was kind of at a low key kind of activity, suddenly saw a rise in its dominance, in its prominence, and there was a lot of upfront activity of the pro-Khalistan movement, and Jagmeet Singh was very much part of it. So it means a really big, serious setback for Khalistan in Canada, and of course, good news for India.
So does Singh's loss show Canadians are tired of divisive politics there?
Okay, so now why did Jagmeet Singh lose, and why did the New Democratic Party do so badly? Now, it's still a little early to analyze it, but we can speculate on a couple of things at least. One is that Canada is in the throes of a anti-Trump mood, and the way the US President Donald Trump has massively undermined Canada, tried to belittle Canada, and even said that it is the United States' 51st state, and not only that, on the ground imposed a lot of heavy tariffs. It's something that Canadians have been shocked, and the Liberal Party has really gained from this in Canada, because people have opted for the Liberal Party and for Carney. So in that sense, we don't even know whether the Khalistan issue was an issue at all. So even in the constituencies where the New Democratic Party, which is the pro-Khalistan party, had members earlier, had won elections earlier, it probably just simply got washed away. Simply got washed away by this overarching issue of Donald Trump. So that could be the reason, and of course, divisive politics is also another reason, and one can't overlook it, because it caused a lot of tension within the Indian community, the Indian diaspora within Canada. You had issues between the Hindus and the pro-Khalistani elements, and even so this it caused a kind of a issues in front of temples, in gurudwaras, and there was a kind of a tension which they had not been used to before. So in that sense, yes, probably even that played a role, in their defeat of the NDP.
Can India use this change to improve its ties with Canada?
Well, it's India has got Canada now on a platter in the sense that India really doesn't need to do much at all because the Canadians have done the job for the Indian government by defeating the Khalistanis. So, in that sense, it's almost like an issue which was so important and it was so prickly for the Indian government, and now it has suddenly become it's been sidelined, it's been marginalized. So it's kind of an unexpected kind of a gift for India. And you are right, India should utilize this opportunity to kind of smoothen all the friction that had arisen over the last 2-3 years. After the death of the killing of Niger, the whole thing started with the killing of the Khalistani activist Niger. The issues that post that it caused all these tensions, and now I think the really the if the government is proactive, they can kind of sort it out and then ensure that something like this shouldn't happen again between in the broader relations between the two countries.
Let's talk a bit about the new Prime Minister also. So, could Canada's foreign policy shift significantly under Mark Carney's leadership, specifically the US Canada and Indo Canada aspects?
Yeah, see, Mark Carney took over from Justin Trudeau, and he turned out to be a very forthright kind of an individual, and he didn't brook any nonsense from Donald Trump. In fact, when Carney took over from Trudeau, the Liberals were seen as a party that was heading to the funeral. I mean, it's like a party that was just going to be defeated massively. That was the kind of a opinion poll. That was what the opinion polls were showing. But over a period of time, the way he responded to Donald Trump, forthrightly and straightforward, and he was very clear. So that appealed a lot to the Canadian voters, and that seems to have helped the Liberal Party. And as far as relations with India was concerned, he was always clear. Karne has always been clear that India-Canadian relationship has to be strengthened, and issues have to be sorted out. Though he has not really specifically spoken about the Khalistan movement or the NDP, and also the NDP was no longer part of the coalition. It was so all this probably helped, and Karne is in a sense starting with a clean slate as far as India is concerned. So we can hope for better times now between India and Canada. Also, the reason why I'm also stressing on this India-Canada relationship is because India has huge stakes in Canada. You have thousands of our Indian students who are studying in universities. There is a massive Indian diaspora in Canada, and so it means a lot for Indians that the relationship should be on an even keel between the two countries. So Mark Carney's arrival is a good news in general for India.
Thank you for your time, sir. Viewers, for more such analysis, stay tuned with the Federal.
The Federal and Pedesta Hospital jointly present the Kanyakumari Marathon 2025. This event is co-presented by Rojavanam International School and Kingmakers IAS Academy. Run for Health on Sunday, May 4, 2025. Entry is free and all are welcome.